Alright, so we come to the second aspect or the third aspect of this episode, which is annuity. Alright, what's an annuity? This is seen in an investment, okay? That's where an annuity is applicable, in an investment. Alright, somebody made an investment with a company and all that, and of course his shares or his returns or dividend can be given to him every year, every end of the year. He receives his annuity. So an annuity is a regular equal payment, alright, okay, that is made at regular interval to a beneficiary, and the name of the beneficiary is called an annuitant, usually at the end of each year. For example, if one says he has an annuity of $10,000, it implies that the annuitant, okay, the person receives $10,000 at the end of each year. Alright, so if I have an annuity of $10,000, it means that I receive $10,000 from a company, from a bank, or from whoever I made my investment with at the end of each year. Alright, so that is all about annuity. Now, but more to that, which is going to actually lead us to calculation. So please pay attention carefully. Alright, so the annuity is different. That is the regular payment that the annuitant receives at the end. At the end, please take note of that word. It is at the end of the year, not at the beginning. Alright, it is at the end of the year. Alright, this explanation can also be adaptable to a monthly calculation or a daily calculation or weekly calculation, as the case may be. But what is popular in questions is annuity, okay, which is at the end of the year. Now, attention to where I'm driving you at now, which will actually make, which you're going to use the illustration, the explanation now in solving problem. That will help you to understand when I'm now solving problem. Now, the annuitant may also wish to compound his annuity. And of course, you know that we are in a free world whereby we are free moral human beings and we like to capitalize on opportunities. Okay, so an opportunity may come out and okay, I receive $10,000 every month. Okay, and if I'm to keep this $10,000 for 5 years, it's going to give me $50,000. But I want to do a project in 5 years. Maybe I want to build a house, and of course I need like $60,000 to build this house. $50,000 will not be enough for me. So what can I do? Okay, since I receive $10,000 every month, can't I not compound this money that is coming in every year? Of course, that can be a boom. That can be, the trigger, or that can be the secret or the answer to your problem. All right? Because why? We have seen an opportunity. We have seen a way of, increasing the amount of money you have in the next 5 years. Instead of having $50,000 from your annuity at the end of 5 years, you may not be having more than $50,000 because you are not compounding each of the annuity. For instance, the first year comes, at the end of the first year, okay, alright, they pay you an annuity. It means that first year is gone, the remaining 4 years. So that means you can only compound that particular annuity that came for only 4 years, because it came at the end of the year. So that means 1 year has been lost. So you can only compound it for 4 years and all that. That is for that particular annuity. By the second year, another annuity will roll out. You can only compound the second annuity. Now, since at the end of the second year, now that means you have 3 more years to your project. You can only compound the second annuity for only 3 years, and so on and so forth. So the annuitant may also wish to compound his annuity for a given period. So this illustration I just gave now will help you to understand how annuity calculation is done. Alright, since it comes at the end of the year. Okay, he can wish to compound his annuity, and of course the sum of all this now, after compounding his annuity for a given period of time, if you add all the annuity, because remember, we learned about compound interest, the amount you get, you have the money, starting capital 10,000, you compound it for 5 years, you get an amount, okay, from your annuity, or from that 10,000 you compounded. So that is the amount, which is your profit plus your principal. That is your amount. Now, but under annuity, remember, because annuity itself comes at the end of each year. So there are different annuity that is coming, because the investment company that you invested with is giving you this amount every year. So there is an amount of an annuity for the first year. So the first annuity you receive, you can compound and get an amount from it. The second annuity, you can also compound and get an amount from it. So when we talk about amount of annuity, the amount of annuity now is the sum of all these compounded annuities, all right, plus the last annuity you have, which you now want to use to do your investment. That is what we mean by the amount of annuity. Is that taken? Perfect. Good. All right, so let's take an example and illustrate this. Now I say calculate the amount. Look at the word here, amount, not annuity. The annuity is already clearly stated here. 5,000 naira is the annuity every year at the end of each year. So don't have a problem with that. But I say calculate the amount of an annuity of 5,000 naira paid annually for 4 years at 15% interest per annum. Alright, so this question is telling us that somebody has an annuity of 5,000 naira. So every year a company pays the person 5,000 naira. We don't know the rate at which it is coming, and that's not our problem. Just that the company makes a profit, and at the end of the day, when companies are sharing their dividend, okay, this person's share of investment is 5,000 naira, so they pay 5,000 naira at the end of each year. Now this person now has a bank or investment bank, and you now want to compound each of this annuity for 4 years. Just as I explained before, he has a project probably to do at the end of the 4th year. Okay, so you want to compound each of the annuity, each of the annuity. Take note of the each of the annuity, because annuity comes bit by bit, okay, at equal intervals every year. So you want to compound each of those annuity at 15% interest per annum. Now, what is the total amount at the end of the 4 years? That is what we are going to do. Now we are going to do it manually, and from the manual calculation, we'll now generate a formula that can help us so that when the number of years are many, of course, it will be very simple for us to handle. Now, let's say the first year. Okay, so we'll now say first year. All right, first year end. All right, I'll call it the end of the first year. First year end, because remember, annuity comes at the end of each year. So the first year comes the annuity. Okay, I'll use small letter for annuity. Annuity is 5,000 naira. So that is the annuity that comes in. But this annuity now, it came at the end of the first year. Remember, the investment company now paid the person 5,000 naira. Okay, the person now wants to compound this 5,000 naira now for the remaining what is going to be, though it is for 4 years, but because the annuity, want to do a project at the end of the 4 years, okay, but because the annuity now came at the end of the first year, that means the person did not do anything that first year, did not invest this annuity at that first year. That first year is gone because this money came at the end. So 1 year is gone. So the person can only compound this annuity now for only 3 years. So you now get the logic, right? Alright, good. So now say amount. So using amount equals to, is compound, that means it's growing. So P equals to 1 plus R over 100 raised to the power n. So the person can only compound for 3 years now because 1 year is gone waiting for the first annuity. So you now have 5,000 into 1 plus the rate of the bank now. The other bank is investing is 15%. 15 over 100 raised to power what? 3 years. N minus 1, which is 3. So raised to power 3. Alright? And of course, when we solve this problem with our calculating device, what do we have? Alright, so we can just quickly keep it as, okay, that will give you 1.15, okay, raised to power 3. Now multiplied by 5,000. Now the person is going to have approximately 7,604 naira from this annuity. So the amount, so the compounded amount from the first annuity is, I'm writing a whole number now, 7,604 naira. That is the compounded amount. Okay, from the first annuity. Is that again? Alright, so that is the end of, so this is for the end of the first year, and the amount that, so this 5,000 naira has, we turn to 7,604 604 naira after 3 years. Okay. Now, at the end of the second year, we'll now do for the next one, end of year 2. Okay. Remember, another annuity will come at the second year, at the end of the second year. So, end of year 2, we will have another annuity of 5,000 naira at the end of the second year, because each annuity comes 5,000 naira. So, what is the amount? So, we cannot compound this one. This annuity now coming at the end of the second year cannot be compounded for how many years now? It's going to be compounded for 2 years, because you have waited for you waited for 1 year has gone to get the first annuity, and of course 2 years has gone because it's coming at the end to wait for this annuity now. So if the person now want to invest annuity, remember he has 4 years in mind. Okay, so if you want to gather all his annuity and maybe do a project, so 2 years has gone now. So if you want to compound this money, he cannot compound this money for 3 years, because if you compound it for 3 years, then of course he can no longer do his project at the end of 4 years. Okay, so he can only compound this amount now for only 2 years. So we now have, using the same compounded formula, 5,000. So this particular one can be compounded for 1 plus 15% over 100 raised to power 2. So it can only compound for n equals to 2. And of course, it's going to give us 1.15 raised to power 2 and multiply by 5,000. Okay, the person will have about 6,612 naira. So the amount at the end of the second year, okay, at the end of the fourth year, which this annuity can generate, is approximately 6,612 naira. Okay, so this annuity came at the second year, and of course, if he wants to compound it, he can only compound it for 2 years now, because 2 years has gone. So that means this 5,000 naira we can turn to 6,602 naira in the remaining 2 years. So let's calculate again. End of year 3. End of year 3. All right, end of year 3. What do we have at the end of year 3? Now, an annuity will come in again at the end of year 3, which is also 5,000 naira. All right. So the person, since it came at the end of the year 3, all right, it means that the person want to do business at the end, want to carry a huge project at the end of the 4th year. Is that also? So the person can only compound this money now for only 1 year. So that implies that this particular annuity now can be compounded for only 1 year. So compounded amount is equals to 5,000, all right, into 1 plus the same rate of the bank over 100 raised to power 1. Okay, and of course 1.15 raised to power 1 is same as 1.15. I hope you know I'm getting the 1.15. 15 divided by 100 is 0.15. When you add to the 1, you have 1.15 times 5,000. Okay, and of course it's 5,750 naira. So this particular annuity we only turn to 5,750 naira if compounded for 1 year. All right, so at the end of the 4th year, so end of year 4, remember the person wants to carry out a project, okay, at the end of year 4, okay, end of year 4, annuity will come in. A is equals to 5,000 naira. That is what will come in. So when a person invests this money, the person can no longer invest this money, but it came at the right end of what? The year 4. That is time this annuity came in. So the person cannot invest this one. Okay? He or she cannot invest this one because it came at the end of the 4th year. So what is the total annuity? What is the total annuity now? The amount of annuity. So now say that implies that amount of annuity, alright, amount of annuity. Now because we have different annuities, so the amount of annuity has to be the sum of all the annuities. Alright, so the first one is this. Okay, we have it as 7,604 naira. So we have it as 7,604 naira plus the second amount of annuity is this other one, which is 6,620 naira, plus the third amount from the annuity, which is 5,700. All right. Now plus the last annuity, which was not invested because it came at the end of the year. So that is the last one, 5,000. And of course, when we add all this together, when we say 5,000 plus 7,604, okay, plus 6,612, okay, plus 5,700, plus 5,700. All right, what do we have? We have 24,916. So this is what we have, 24,000. All right, so let's calculate for end of year 3. End of year 3. Okay, remember it is year 3 ending, so an annuity will come in again. An annuity of 5,000 naira will come in again at the end of the 3rd year. Now, since it came in at the end of the 3rd year, the person cannot fix this money for more than 1 year now, because remember, he has a plan to carry out a capital project at the end of the 4th year. So he can only compound this annuity that came in, this particular one that came in at the end of the 3rd year, just for only 1 year. So it's going to be 5,000 into 1 plus 15 over 100 raised to power 1. And of course, the amount that this annuity can turn to will now be 5,750 naira. That will be the amount that the annuity can turn to, 5,750 naira. So that is the amount. Okay, so we'll now calculate for end of year 4. All right, end of year 4, which is the final year. All right, that the person intends to do business now, which is all his annuity. So end of year 4, an annuity of 5,000 will come in at the very end of year 4. So will the person do an investment with this? The person compound this money? No. The person can no longer, the annuitant can no longer compound this money, because he or she has reached the end, that the end of the year that he is planning to do business with all his annuities. All right, so he can no longer compound this money because he wants to do a capital project with all his annuity at the end of 4 years. So he can no longer compound his money. So when I say total annuity, which is equals to amount, okay, of annuity. So the amount of annuity now gives us the amount from the 1st year, okay. The company gave him this, but he was wise enough, he invested, he compounded it and got this, so that is 7,604. So we have 7,604 plus the amount at the end of the 2nd year, which is 6,612, 6,612, plus the money at the end of the 3rd year, which is 5,750, 5,750. Now plus the one that came at the last year, which he did not invest, all right, which is 5,000. So when you add all this, that gives you the total annuity for the individual. All right, so when we add, when I say the total amount is going to give us approximately 24,000, so it's going to give us amount of annuity, okay, is equals to approximately 24,966 naira. So this is the amount of annuity. Now, if the person had not been wise enough to reinvest each of those annuity to compound each of those annuity, of course, 5,000 at the end of each year times 4 is going to give us 20,000 naira. So you cannot see, by being wise enough and say, okay, this money comes in at the end of each year, so I can even compound each of this annuity, and by so doing, I will have more money. So you see, he had almost extra annuity, almost 5,000 naira on top, by compounding each of those annuities. So this is what we call amount of annuity. Is that clear? Hope this is simple enough. All right. So now let's look at a way to generate a short formula for this. All right. Now, this is the amount of annuity, which is sum of everything. But now I'm going to do something here. Okay, so I'm going to calculate the sum. Okay, so we're talking about the formula method now. Alright, so this is the formula method to generate a formula for all the annuities. Alright, now patiently follow with me. You will notice, look at the first year. This is the amount for the first year, which was calculated to be this. Is that not so? Alright, perfect. That is it. So I can now say that my annuity, my amount. So I can now say that my amount of annuity is equals to, now the first year, what do I have in the first year? So the first, instead of this 7,604, I will use this particular one, the unsimplified one. So it is 5,000 into whatever we have inside this. So it will give me 5,000, okay, into 1 plus 15 over what? 100 raised to the power 3. This is the one we had, the unsimplified value. Then for the second, okay, for the second year, for the end of the second year, what we have this, okay, but I'm going to use the unsimplified amount, which is this one, raised to the power 2. Alright, that's what I'm going to use for the end of the second year. So it's still 5,000 into 1 plus 15 over 100 raised to the power 2. And of course, for the third year, it's still going to give us 5,000, okay, into 1 plus 15, of course, over 100 raised to the power 1. And for the last year, what is the last year? The last year was just 5,000 naira, okay, but if you look at all these unsimplified one, they have a pattern. So we can also write the last one in that pattern as what? 5,000, alright, into 1 plus 15 over 100 raised to the power 0. Because anything is power 0, apart from 0 is power 0, give us 1. So 1 times 5,000 give us the same 5,000. So you can see that there's a pattern that has been formed. If we arrange in ascending order from the list, which is this raised to the power 0, alright, if we arrange in ascending order, we can have it as 5,000 into 1 plus 15 over 100, okay, raised to the power 0, plus 5,000, alright, into what? 1 plus 15 raised to the power what? 15 over 100 raised to the power 1, and of course the last one, which is 5,000, okay, into what? 1 plus 15 raised to the power 15 over 100 raised to the power what? 3, which is the highest one. Now, what do you notice here? Okay, what do you notice here? Okay, let me just insert the second one so that it will be easier to follow. Plus 5,000 into 1 plus 15 over 100 raised to the power 2, then plus 5,000 into 1 plus 15 over 100 raised to the power 3. Alright, so I have put all of them. Now, this is in ascending order. What do you notice in this amount? You discover that this is similar to the sum of an AP, the series of an AP. Alright? Because if you look at this, this is the first one, second one, third one, and the fourth one. Alright, because our common ratio R is this one divided by this, or this one divided by this. You see, if I do 5,000, this second one, okay, into 1 plus 15 over 100 raised to the power 1 divided by 5,000, okay. Of course, anything raised to the power 0 is 1, so that is 1 there. So 5,000, we cancel 5,000, and of course this is my common ratio, which is the same thing as if I do the third one divided by the second one, 5,000 into 1 plus 15 over 100 raised to the power 2 divided by the second one now, 5,000 into 1 plus 15 over 100 just raised to the power 1. 5,000 cancel 5,000. This expression appear twice, this one appear once. So if once cancel 2, of course the expression will remain. So our common ratio is just the entire expression 1 plus 15 all over 100. So this is our common ratio. So we are at why this is our first time 5,000, because the whole of this is what? The whole of this is 1 because it's raised to the power 0. So it is 1. All right. So our and 1 times 5,000 is 5,000. So our first term is equals to 5,000. So this problem now can be handled using the sum of a GP. All right. Sum of a GP is equals to what? A into what? R raised to power n minus 1 all over what? R minus 1. So you can use the sum of a GP now to solve the problem where your R is equals to this and your A is equals to 5,000. And of course, if you put that inside, you're going to have 5,000 into R is what? Of course, this is 1.15, remember? All right, 1.15, 1.15, okay, raised to the power of n is equals to 4 years, then minus 1, okay, there's a bracket here, the A is multiplying the whole of this, then divided by, what do we have? R is what? 1.15 minus 1. Alright, so when you evaluate this to the calculator, what do we have? 1.15 raised to power 4 is equals to minus 1. Alright, multiplied by 5,000. What do we have? That's what we have. Now divided by 0.15. Divided by 0.15. Okay? 1.15 minus 1 give us 0.15. Of course, I'm having 24,966.875. So, which is giving me this amount. So, I'm having 24,966.875. So, you can see which is approximately what I had using the step-by-step, year-by-year calculation. So, what does that tell you? It tells you that we can use the sum of a GP to calculate the amount of an annuity for any given years. Is that taken? Hope is well understood. Any question? Alright, so no question. Alright, so since there's no question, we can now solve for another question. We can now take our example 2 to wrap up this section. Alright? So, example 2. What is example 2 saying? Alright, it says calculate the amount of 8,000 naira paid yearly for 20 years and compounded at 10% per annum. Alright, they didn't mention the word annuity here, but it says 8,000 naira is paid yearly. That means 8,000 naira is the annuity for 20 years. Okay, and of course it is compounded for 10% per annum also. So each of those 8,000 naira is not compounded. That is, each of the annuities is not compounded. Calculate the amount, which is the total amount now that you get at the end of the year. Alright, so this is just a question I saw somewhere about under annuity, but I know they are still referring to annuity. Alright, but most times it will come in as annuity so that it can be clear to you that of course what they're talking about is annuity that comes in yearly. Okay, but please pay attention. Say calculate the amount of 8,000 naira paid yearly. Alright, so the 8,000 naira being paid yearly for 20 years. And did you see that word? And compounded again. So it's now compounded at 10% per annum. So that will not tell that okay, they're talking about annuities, not just normal how much will 8,000 naira yield at 10% per annum compound interest. No, 8,000 naira is paid yearly. That is telling you that the annuity comes in every year. The word here "and" is another word telling that the same annuity now cannot be compounded for 10 years for 10% per annum. Alright, so we now have our annuity, our P. Alright, so our P or A, if you anyone, the principal that comes in, because remember we invest it every year is 8,000 naira. That is what comes in every year. Alright, then of course our end. Now you remember our annuity that for the first year, if you are using the formula to compound, A is equals to P into 1 plus R over 100. Alright, so if at the end of the first year, raised to power n, so at the end of the first year, when this money comes in, you can only compound this money for what? For 19 years, because you want to do project at the end of the 20th year. But this money came in at the end of the first year, so you can only compound it for what? For only 19 years. So your A1, so what you're having is your A1 of course, is equals to P into 1 plus R over 100, okay, raised to power 19, okay. Now for A2, you are going to compound for 18 years, so it's going to give us P into 1 plus R, of course, over 100 raised to power 18, and so on and so forth. All right. So your A1T, you have your last one. All right, which is going to come at the end of your A4, your A20th. Your A20th is going to give us P into 1 plus R over 100 raised to power 0. The one that is not going to be compounded because it came in at the end of the 20th year. So it's not going to be compounded. So if your total amount, all right, if your total amount now, amount of the annuity now, because I want to start something for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, that's why I am not following the sum of GP method now. So total amount is going to give us sum of the GP. So starting from the smallest one, I'm going to have, okay, P into 1 plus R over 100, okay, raised to power 0, plus the next one, okay, which is P into 1 plus R over 100 raised to power 1. This is raised to power 0. Of course, the last one, which is this one that can be compounded for 19 years, which is P into 1 plus R over 100 raised to power 19. Alright, so what is your common ratio? If you're using sum, because you're adding everything now, you discover that this is existing GP. So our common ratio is the whole of this divided by this. So it is P over 1 plus R over 100, okay, raised to power 2 divided by P into 1 plus R over 100, okay, raised to power 1, or I can say raised to power 1 divided by raised to power 0, any one. P, we cancel P. Of course, this is power 1, it will cancel power 2, remain power 1. So our common ratio is 1 plus R over 100. This is our common ratio for annuity summation. Alright, so our common ratio is this amount, is this expression here. So take note of that. And that will give us 1 plus, what percentage are we using? 10%, 10 over 100. Of course, 10 divided by 100 is 0.1 plus 1, you have 1.1. So our common ratio now is same as 1.1. And of course, our P, 1.1. So our first term, our is same as our P, which is our invested capital, and that is 8,000 naira. That's the money we are going to be invested. So each of the year. So that's our first term here. Okay. Of course, when you are reading this in ascending order, you can see that raised power 0 is 1 times P. You have P. So our P is the 8,000 naira we are going to invest. So using sum, so our A, amount of annuity, is equal to sum of GP, and that will give us A into R raised power N minus 1 divided by R minus 1. And of course, our A is in as P, 8,000. So our annuity, sum of our amount of annuity is equal to sum 20, which is same as 8,000, into common ratio is 1.1, okay, raised to power what? Raised to power 20, n is 20, minus 1, all divided by 1.1 minus 1. Okay, so use your calculating device. 1.1, alright, raised to power 20, that's what you have there. Then I say minus 1, okay, multiply by 8,000. Alright, so divided by, of course, on your denominator, 1.1 minus 1 give us 0.1, so divide by 0.1. Alright, so we have about 45,000. So our total amount of annuity, which is in the sum of everything, okay, is going to give us about 458,000. Wow, very big money. 199.9959. So that's approximately equals to what? The nearest whole number, 458,200. So that's going to give us about 458,000 58,200 naira. Wow, this is a very big money. Okay, so that is the way it is being done. Alright, so have you learned something from this video? I hope you have understood the subject of annuity, hire purchase, and of course instrumental buying. Please, if you have learned something, subscribe to this channel, recommend the channel to also people that are looking for good materials, good explanatory video to teach them mathematics. What we are going to meet in the next episode, we are not finished. We are still going to meet in the next episode where we'll talk about tax payment. I will see different types of tax, and of course we're also going to look at stocks. Before this series will come to an end, we'll look at stocks and also look at different tax payments. Alright, so here is your practice question before you go. Alright, once again, if you have learned something in this episode, please hit the subscription button, hit the bell button, and also like the video. Recommend to someone that may have need of a material, a resource material. This is also a quick revision for those of our students in exam class, especially the high school students who are looking for an audio-visual material for quick revision. Of course, this makes it very easy for you to revise different topics in mathematics. Thank you once again. We'll see in the next episode where we are going to look at tax, different types of tax, and of course look at stocks before this series is over. It is a goodbye till we meet in the next episode. Thank you.